Stand with pride worldwide. This is for the dreamers, rebels and crew, for the fans in the back and the diehards too. Break the chains, let the passion ring. We're calling out hate in the squared off ring. Kicking out at 2, where the love runs deep and the fight stays true. Kicking out at 2, no tribal lines, just respect me and you. Just respect me and you. This is for the dreamers, rebels and crew, for the fans in the back and the diehards too. Break the chains, let the passion ring. We're calling out hate in the squared off ring. Kicking out at 2, where the love runs deep and the fight stays true. Kicking out at 2, no tribal lines, just respect me and you.
He, she's, theys, and everyone who slays. Welcome back. We are here to talk about this crazy, wild world of wrestling. No funny intro today. There's so much to talk about. We're just going to get straight to it. Welcome to Kicking Out 2. I am Michael, and this with me is my partner in crime, my best friend, Tori. Hey, how are you?
I'm good. There's been a lot going on
Oh,
in,
yeah.
in the world of wrestling.
Whole lot. We're just going to slip right into it. 'Cause why not? That's what she said. Do you feel like there had to be light for this?
It just wasn't bright enough in here.
Oh,
I figure out where this camera randomly gets fuzzy. It's really stupid.
it cannot stand the radiance that is in front of it. Did you hurt your eyes? Could you see your brain when you
No.
did that?
I'm
Because
pretty sure I did.
good Lord. The opening segment, we're gonna be somber for quite a bit here because like we cannot not talk about the biggest story that's been happening the last few days, and that's the Rajah Jackson incident. If you don't know what that is, so
You're welcome. You're
yeah,
lucky. If
basically,
you don't know what that is, good for you.
I'm gonna read through some information here, and then we're gonna talk about it. So just stick with us while I get through this. The incident was at Knox Pro Wrestling Academy, which is a training school and wrestling promotion owned by WWE Hall of Famer Rikishi and a wrestler entrepreneur known as Reno Black Pearl Anoa'i. It was on August 23rd, so just a few days ago. What was supposed to be a scripted wrestling moment turned into a real life nightmare. Rajah Jackson, the son of MMA Quinton Rampage Jackson, who wrestled actually in TNA for a little bit. I think it's something that's not being talked about, so I want to make sure to throw that out there, that he did pro wrestling.
He knows how this works.
Yeah. But Rajah got in the ring during a planned spot with independent wrestler Stuart Psycho Stu Smith, which, as I've been seeing things on Twitter come in, apparently it was pretty well known in the business. Quite a few like WWE superstars, AEW superstars, some of the independent superstars that I know we follow, like Kid Bandit even tweeted out that she knew Stu. So it's like he's not a no-name. At first it looked like a normal wrestling spot, but then Rajah body slammed Psycho Stu and delivered over 20 real punches to his head while Stu was unconscious. The aftermath was brutal.
He was unconscious from the landing.
Oh yeah.
It wasn't like the first punch knocked him out. No,
Right.
he was out.
Right. When he lands, you could see his head whip back and hit that mat. And
He
at
just
that
went limp.
moment, he went limp. The aftermath was brutal. Stu needed CPR. The people that were doing the CPR and we'll talk about who stopped the beating here in a minute. They were all saying like he was choking on his blood. There was a lot of teeth, facial fractures, all going on. Right now, he's still recovering. I did just see a video on the way here today that he is in stable condition, but it is going to be a long ass road to get back
Yes.
to where he was.
I don't know if you looked at it, that GoFundMe you posted.
Mhm.
The number of people that have shown up in that. Mr. Beast donated 10K.
Oh yeah, and we'll talk about Mr. Beast in a minute because he also it's offering some more stuff to help, which is insane that someone that has no tie to any of this was just like, look, this needs to be helped and taken care of. The LAPD responded immediately and launched an investigation. In the fallout, Knox Pro Wrestling removed its WWE affiliation from their website at the same time that WWE blocked them. So
After WWE was like, nah, fam, we're out.
yeah. Although remnants of the branding still linger on their site, it's pretty well received now that WWE is kind of cutting ties with that company. The Academy released a statement calling Raja's actions selfish and irresponsible, saying this kind of thing was not supposed to occur in their 17 years of operation.
Did you see the text message screenshots?
Yeah, we're getting to that. Adding fuel to the fire. A video surfaced showing AJ Mana, a Knox Pro trainer, telling Raja to give him a receipt and tag his shit. Quotes from him, implying he should escalate things. Mana later claimed he was in character when he was saying it and using wrestling vernacular, and said that he never intended for any real harm to happen. He blamed miscommunication behind the scenes for how things got out of hand. Former Knox Pro talent, speaking anonymously, alleged that the upper management, though, discouraged staff from cooperating with the police, instead routing inquiries all through only a select group of people. They described this as dishonest and troubling, especially given the severity of Stu's injuries. Texts from inside sources suggest staff were told to avoid public comment and forward any law enforcement contact directly to leadership. We're going to take a stop there real quick because the next is going to be accounts from people that were not part of the incident. Good Lord. This is insane. I saw a video today of Rampage, I guess, was doing some sort of video, and Raja was in the room. Rampage was basically telling him, like, look, you fucked up. You messed this whole thing up. Raja's reply to it was like, no, the cameraman fucked up. The cameraman that was recording saying that I was going to do this fucked this whole thing. No, sir. You're just saying you got caught. The cameraman's why you got caught doing it. Like, he at least had some sort of plausible deniability before, like, there's a video of him saying, I'm going to go in there and I'm going to tag him for real. This is real. I'm going to do this. I'm going to go off script and I'm going to beat him. Hey, Big Mike. Hey, Lady Alpha. How are y'all? Welcome in, welcome in.
I have not seen the Rampage Jackson video.
Yeah, it's been a whirlwind of stuff I've been seeing all day.
I mean, that text message of "don't say anything" is Defense Exhibit B. Defense Exhibit A is the tape.
Yeah,
prosecution. The Exhibit A and B. Like, this is the most open and shut wrestling involved case I've ever seen in my life.
Well, and so I haven't looked up specifically, and I've been meaning to all day, and I just, with things going on in my life and things being thrown at me here, I haven't yet been able to, but I know that this is the truth for boxers. So boxers, if they get into a fight with someone, then they are put up on criminal charges of attempted murder with a weapon.
Yeah.
because their fists are considered murder weapons because they are trained and taught to knock you the fuck out.
But isn't Raja a trained MMA fighter?
Well, and that's what I'm saying. I don't know if it's the same for MMA. I would assume so though, because they're taught the same hitting and kicking is to try to knock somebody out. So I would assume
Yeah.
it's on the same level.
This is a problem.
Hey, Isaiah.
Hey Isaiah. I just I and the guy that was on the video with him backstage saying that, he's like, no, that was part of the show. That wasn't I wasn't really encouraging that. So were you really not encouraging that, or are you just saying that because you got fucking caught?
Well, and I think that's why, like, obviously we weren't in the room, but I would assume that's
You were
why
in the
they
room when it
said,
happened.
yeah, that's why I assume they brought up the like, don't talk to nobody, don't talk to the police. Only these people get to talk to the police. I agree with you,
cannot
Mike. I think it
believe
should be
everyone.
100%.
Oh, 1,000%. It should be. Like, this is, if nothing happens here, you're just asking for more problems down the line.
Yeah.
And Swerve tweeted this, and I kind of looked at it for a minute like, the fuck? He said, we need to start gatekeeping wrestling again. When I first saw it, I was like, I'm sorry, sir, what? But then after all of this that's happened, he's not wrong.
Yeah, he's not wrong at all. All of this started from, at least what's being said is it started from a spot that Stu did, that apparently it pissed Raja off because he wasn't aware of what was about to happen, according to Raja. There was a spot with a soda can, and what Stu basically did is he put his hand on Raja's head, hit his hand with the can, busted the can. Raja
Big
was
Mike,
mad
you're
about it.
not wrong. You're not wrong. It is good legal advice. It's the send them all to us that I have a problem with.
Yeah.
If I'm these people and the police contact me, I'm not saying shit till I've talked to a lawyer. But I'm sure it's fucking not going to go talk to the company that I work for.
Yeah, go talk
This
to
is
my
where
boss who
the
was not in the
state
room.
contractor becomes a problem.
Yeah. We're gonna go ahead and slip on to people's accounts of it. Unfortunate to me, and I know to you too, because we're a big fan of the man. WWE Hall of Famer Mark Henry, known as the world's strongest man, he weighed in on the conversation. He said that Psycho Stu bore some responsibility because he allegedly provoked Raja by hitting him with the beer can, the event that I was just talking about. Henry suggested that veterans like Stu should be mindful when interacting with someone new. The wrestling world, new to the wrestling world, emphasizing that if alcohol and provocation were involved, it adds to the risk. I'm not saying it doesn't add to the risk, but to beat that man to the level that he got beat, that's not something you need to be in the wrestling world to understand. That's a, all right, you tagged me with a beer can, I'm gonna tag you with a punch. We're done. Or if he would have just finished it with the slam that knocked him out, we're done. Like, you got your lick back. Move on. Rampage Jackson, the UFC champion, former UFC champion, and the father of Raja addressed the situation publicly. He revealed he has received death threats over his son's actions. Rampage condemned Raja's behavior, clarified that the assault was intended to be a pre-planned work that went wrong, and noted that Raja had recently suffered a concussion from sparring, meaning that he shouldn't have been in the ring at all. That puts a little bit of a different light on it. Just as far as, like, should he have even been in the conversation if he was currently dealing with a concussion? Because that can change things about you in the time that you're having it. Or it could be just him, like, covering bases. He knows how it works. He's been in MMA for years. He was in TNA doing wrestling for a while. So he knows kind of the ins and outs of some things. They could be just planting that seed, just say, like, look, it may not have been his fault. But it is very...
It may not.
But
if he had a concussion, if that's the case,
Mhm.
that he was dealing with a concussion, and he didn't say something ahead of time to the promoter, and it wasn't noted anywhere or doctor's note or nothing, I'm sorry, bullshit. Bullshit.
Yeah.
And this blaming the victim shit. I agree there is a level of responsibility for the company to know who is working.
hmm
As a performer, you go out there knowing, okay, I'm working with this guy. The company has brought this person in. Why should I say no unless I have a legitimate reason? Like if I'd seen a Mike Awesome match where he chunked somebody over the rope or something or was unsafe, and I make the decision not to wrestle him, that's one thing.
Yeah.
Have we ever seen Raja Jackson in a ring
I have not, to
other
my
than
knowledge. No.
MMA?
Yeah, no.
That's my point. This whole he should have known. What? I love Mark Henry. This is a horrible take.
Yeah, it's a horrible take. It's a weird take to hear from him because he's a stand up dude. I don't want to say usually he's a stand up dude. This is a weird take. I don't know if I don't know why he would say that it was more Stu's wrist than Raja's, or I don't know. I don't know how that comes across. But on a more positive note, we'll try to end this as positively as we can. A GoFundMe campaign has been launched to support Stu's medical bills, recovery, and lost income. His brother confirmed that Stewart is awake, stable, and slowly regaining some memory. He's expressing gratitude from all the support from the fans and the wrestling community. In the description of this video, if you're on the red app or the purple app, the GoFundMe is in there. So please feel free to go in there, give what you can. With GoFundMe
just
too.
share it. Just put it out there.
Yeah. Share it out there. And the other thing with GoFundMe that I think gets missed a lot is that even if you can't provide financially, even if you feel like you don't reach enough to share it out there, go in there and make a note. They get to see comments that people put in there. So go in there and just, say you're thinking about them, or, thoughts and prayers or good juju or whatever you believe in. Put that out there in the ether as well.
They started at like 30K or something like that.
Mhm.
Was their goal. They've raised 118, and they've changed the goal to 200. I'm so here for this.
Yeah. Well, and so you mentioned Mr. Beast. As far as Mr. Beast, gave a good chunk of money to it already. He also offered, because what isn't being talked about enough is this was a local indie show.
Yeah.
There was a lot of youngsters in the crowd. Those people are now traumatized.
Yeah.
Because they saw this all happen live in front of them. Mr. Beast is actually offering to pay for services for those kids that need it. So if for some reason the parent does feel like that it's reached to the point where the kid needs to see some therapy, see some counseling, Mr. Beast is offering to pay for that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
And I'm just covering these because if this is stand up. Mr. Beast gave 10K. Jericho gave 2.5, Jack Perry donated 1,000. Swerve donated 1,000. I've looked at some of these names and I'm like, these are not Kristaps Porzingis, the basketball player.
Yeah,
donated $500. That's how far this has reached. Oh, Miro gave $500.
Yeah,
like Arya Davari $500. Like I'm just.
Well, and some of those names that you're saying there are people that, like Miro specifically, Miro tweeted out that he worked with Stu before.
Yeah.
And so this is someone who's been in the lives of people that we see every day or constantly week to week on our TV.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's how it should be, though. This is a story that has now transcended wrestling.
Yeah.
And is going to, okay, let's go look at all of these people that are now involved in this, whether they were actually wrestling people. Because normally when you see these, you'll see a bunch of wrestling people.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know Deonna Purrazzo gave something. Her and her husband, Steve Macklin, donated.
Yep.
I'd love to see people coming together for this because this wasn't his fault.
Yeah.
He's doing his job.
So yeah, I mean, just do what you can. Send out as much as the GoFundMe as you can. If you're able to give anything financially, please do. Um, that is the hardest thing we're going to talk about today. So let's go ahead and move over to the silly, because I think that's always more fun and more comfortable for us to talk about. What I did not know you could do is you could trademark the word bald. I didn't know that was the thing.
Stop it.
Ricochet went out and filed a trademark for the word bald. Not the one and only,
No,
not some flashy move or name or anything like that.
Well, the next show where he gets called bald, he's going to be like, "You all owe me money. I own this trademark."
Yep. So
That's amazing.
he might start walking out with a bald T-shirt. We don't know. That's the craziest thing in the world.
That's so good.
I wish I would have thought of that before we started this podcast, because I would have rode that train.
Right?
Jamie
Sure,
Hayter.
he would have paid a decent chunk to get it too.
Yeah. Jamie Hayter returned at Forbidden Door. That was a well-welcomed surprise, and we'll talk more about her returning here later. Yeah, Simon Miller is going to be pissed, absolutely, because he's been on this ball train forever. So at Forbidden Door, Jamie Hayter returned with a monster pop. The timing could not be better. We definitely needed some fresh blood and some fresh face into the women's division and AEW in general, because we've lost some big ones here recently. But when Thekla debuted, she got bumped up a little bit, so had to leave. So it looks like they're going to refresh that a little bit now with her coming back. Credit to Hayter, she still worked a smoke and mirror spot, even though she wasn't really cleared to do it. So she's not exactly cleared quite yet, but she's on her way back. So the plan all along has been for her and Thekla to continue that feud, and that seems to be where we're headed now. So
I'm fine with them having a match or so. We need to let this Amanada Tekla feud just continue, because these two are beating the shit out of each other.
Absolutely. We'll talk more about that here. That's one of your three. So
somebody, and I think it may have been the wrestling club teacher, and was talking about women's wrestling, and he's like, women's wrestling overall is just cooking.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cooking. And it's not just one or the other. It's WWE, it's AEW, it's TNA, it's Stardom. It's all of these promotions who are finally going, oh, look, people actually care about the women's division.
Yeah.
I am so excited about this. Like, let's go.
There's a little bit of a scare with Xavier Woods. He's touting that he has a neck problem. It could be just a storyline, but we're also getting pretty close to Dragon Con. So every Dragon Con, he has an injury that takes him out. This is kind of noticed to be a pattern going. So Woods is still selling the injury, though, even apparently at restaurants, even cut a promo about the dangers of a package pile driver. But this may be a valid injury. It may not be a valid injury. We don't know. But it is kind of coincidental. We're getting pretty close to Dragon Con. So,
Big Mike, look, you want to see me stop watching pretty much everything else? Let that happen. Let that happen. I'm done.
I'm
back done
Glow.
With everything. Huh?
Bring back Glow.
I'm pretty sure Maria Kanellis owns the rights.
I think I remember hearing that somewhere.
Or is it AJ? Maybe it's AJ. Somebody. I don't know. I don't know what you call it, but if you give me an all women's promotion, I'll never miss a show. I will pay for every fucking pay-per-view.
I don't disagree.
I will do everything I can to support that shit. We're not making Swagger great shit, okay? AJ has the rights. That's what it is. We're not making Jack Swagger shit. Fuck Jack Swagger.
I want to thank the mayor of Canada for coming in. I appreciate you. Thank you.
We ain't the people anymore. Fuck that guy.
Wear America's hat.
We're
Speaking
the
of,
meth lab under America's hat at this point. That's where we live.
all I gotta say is I hate that hat. Speaking of
But
questionable calls,
he can get pissy all he wants. That hat was more over than he was.
certainly
The
was.
hat, not even just a fucking hat, was more over than he was. Get out of here.
I'm in a group chat with Stampede and some other guys, and yeah, we that got brought up very specifically. I feel like the hat was more over. Like, sorry about you. Thank you, Big Mike. Absolutely.
Yes,
Everybody
we are
from
almost there. Do we need one more?
One more day. One more day.
One more day. All right, we're at 4 right now. If you're in our chat on Twitch, say something to us on Twitch. Just one comment is all we need. Let our stream run, and then we are affiliates and in a much better place there.
Yep.
And go us.
Yep. And then we're right around the corner to the next step too. We're with that one. I think we're just missing the followers, and we only are 6 away from that on Twitch. So
Okay.
shouldn't be that
That
hard
was
to
the
hit it
reason
once
I
we get there.
commented on Twitch because I've got it pulled up too. I'm
Gotcha.
cheating. It's fine.
Gotcha.
You ain't cheating. You ain't trying. Jillian.
Hey, Jillian, welcome in. Can I go on now?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're good.
Speaking of questionable calls, Will Ospreay wrestled at Forbidden Door despite his neck injury. His own surgeon told him that he did need surgery. A lot of people in AEW didn't even want him to wrestle the show, but Ospreay told them straight up Forbidden Door is too big and too important to miss. He went with it, and despite what he said, he was cleared to wrestle. The surgeon himself, it was very much similar to the Cody Rhodes situation, said basically like you can't make it any worse, as long as you're safe. So he was fine with him going out there and doing the match, but yeah.
So Michael and I actually got to get together and watch a pay-per-view together at the same place at the same time.
It was crazy.
An actual pay-per-view, not like a Peacock. We're not even calling them what they fucking call them. An actual pay-per-view.
Well, we also
I don't remember the last time we did this.
We also watched a WWE Heat Wave, but it was an NXT show. But that's a whole other conversation.
First of all, that's always fun for us. Next time we need to live stream or something to it, like tweet or something.
Yeah,
do the thing.
I think that'd be a good show.
We talked about this Sunday night. I would like to have seen them do the whole Ospreay thing a little different. I was fine with having the match. Calling it whatever you want to. I would have rather seen him come out, hype the match, do whatever to get the match going. Yeah, that's going to suck for them, Stampede. Having both of them out is going to hurt.
Yeah.
I would like to have seen him come out, hype the match, get the match going, whatever. Done the match Sunday, finished it the way they did, have him come out on Wednesday and announce the surgery. Because you told us ahead of time you were getting surgery, so we knew your team wasn't losing, but then we still wrote him off?
Yeah.
That's where my thing comes in, is why are we writing him off when we all know he's got to have surgery?
Well, I don't usually like to down talk how they creatively do things.
Right.
However, I will say I think it was a cheap Heat moment. It was a moment that they could use to their advantage to put over how
more.
Right. So because I think we can all agree that that group has been kind of losing momentum, but with that beatdown, it kind of brings them back up as okay, they are the people that everybody's got to go against. We've got to fight them. We got to go against them. So as much as I agree with you, I think to me, even though I think the beatdown maybe should have happened at the next Dynamite, have him come out, announce the surgery, and they come out and take him out.
Or they take him out. Like I said, I'm good with what Mike said too. They're not going to have Tanahashi lose. I mean, this man probably isn't going to lose a match the rest of the year.
I mean, unless he's losing a match to getting in the ring, because he hurts me watching him walk.
Look, I, yeah, they should be.
Yeah, absolutely. And
They should
in
come out.
their path should be the Bucks.
Yes, this is where you face turn the Bucks. Kimmy's working a limited schedule. Swerve's out. Ospreay's out. Other than Darby, who do you have that is a high level face?
Yeah. If you turn the
Not
Bucks
just
now
a
and start the
face,
redemption
a
story.
high level face, because they got nobody. Have Danielson come back for a match? Like,
Which they might be doing anyway because of the way they plan that. Because him bowing out of doing commentary is like, I've got bad blood in this, da-da-da. That makes a lot of sense.
yeah.
Yep.
No, Orange is coming back. That's right, Isaiah. Orange is cleared.
Yep.
So they just need creative for him. And Stampede, you're not wrong. But they need something because I don't I have not been a big fan of the Death Rider story for a minute. It's just kind of
I've been very hot and cold on it. I mean, there's times where it's been pretty good, and then there's other times where I'm just like, why are we still doing this? Why are we randomly adding Gabe Kidd, and then Gabe Kidd's not really part of it. He's part of the New Japan group, but for some reason he's in the Death Riders too.
Big
Hey!
Mike. Happy birthday, sir.
Happy birthday, sir. That is a lot brighter note. Now to more bad news. Swerve Strickland's knee injury. Turns out he's been working on a torn meniscus since way back in 2019 at the Performance Center.
This is like that criticism you get from a manager. Well, here's the good thing you did. Here's the bad.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the good thing. I mean, we went the opposite. Here's the bad thing. Oh, it's Big Mike's birthday. Here's some more shit.
Just keep throwing shit. But so he's been dealing with that for a while. So the scary part is there's a real chance he may need actual surgery for it. At one point earlier this year, the idea was to take him off after All In, but he never did. He just kind of kept going and kept pushing through it. But this isn't a small thing. So if Swerve has to get surgery, that's a big blow to AEW, much like Stampede said, because that's two of their big names right now that we're throwing on the shelf.
And two of their biggest pops when they come out.
Yeah. Speaking of other bad ideas, there's some Chris Jericho rumors.
Let's not. What the fuck?
Close.
No, Stampede, I'm not. You want to jump in here, feel free. I'm not doing that. I like Big Mike. I don't like him that much.
You know what? I'm bored. I might hop on after and play some My Rise and do it. So if you all want to stay with me on that, there you go. But there's some rumor going on with Chris Jericho. We haven't seen him on AEW TV since April when he walked away from the Learning Tree. And then he likes this Instagram post saying that he should go back to WWE. That got enough people buzzing that now it's kind of a thing that people are wondering what's going to happen with him. I'm going to say my thing right now, and I'll let you say what you think you want to happen. I think he should go back to the WWE, not to wrestle, go in the Hall of Fame, walk off and do your music stuff. Because you're done, sir. You're looking almost like Tanahashi out there. Like,
all right, we're not going that far with it.
yeah,
Say no to
say no to Jericho.
I don't. I'm not a fan of Jericho going back to WWE unless it's just for the Hall of Fame. Yeah. You have so much young talent on that roster that bringing Jericho in is like bringing Goldberg in. I'll pass.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do I think Tony keeping him is a good thing? Yes. But as a backstage presence most of the time.
Hey, Final Boss baby. How you doing?
Not all the time, but most of the time. I'm fine with him having a program, couple weeks, has a match. Cool. But no, I do not need Chris Jericho on my television every week.
Yeah, I'm with you there, and I'm the same.
I'm taxed.
I'm the same reason as far as bringing him into WWE. If you're going to bring him in, have him go to the Performance Center, have him be there for these young kids. Because could you imagine if he was mentoring like a Javon Evans or some of these younger kids who have the obvious talent and maybe just need a little tweak on character? Because as
100%.
much as we talk bad about Jericho, he's reinvented himself year after year after year into a
This
different
man
character.
got a piece of paper over. I'm not disputing Jericho's ability.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that I don't need him in the ring every week.
Yeah. I'm with you. All right, that's going to go ahead and wrap up the news. Before we move on to our 3 count, we're going to go ahead and hear from Debbie. And just real quick on W, they've got some new products that are in right now. So definitely go to w.gg, use Kicking Out, and get 10% off that. They've got some new tumblers. They've got some new flavors. I'm actually probably going to hit them up after the stream and see what I can get for us, because it's good stuff.
We love free shit.
No, we still got to pay for it. I wish it was free, but no, we still got to pay for it.
Stampede, do you think they're going to move the learning tree to... no, we do not need to drink it in. No. No. No.
Now, Dubby, drink it in. But
Yes, that's fine, but not Jericho. Or the learning tree.
Time for the 3 count, though. Go ahead and start off with me. We'll leave you for the main this time. Will Ospreay and Alex Windsor feeling indestructible. Ospreay's openness about his neck issues have made fans worry about his long-term future. But he put out some information that I want to highlight, because we don't hear a lot of positivity, and we here are all about stop gatekeeping wrestling, stop stop with the tribalism, stop all that stuff. He said WWE talent has been checking in on him, bridging AEW New Japan storyline to a wider industry. He's had talks about his real life relationship with fans and with other members of other sides of the roster, talking about how he's got friends from all over. He's got friends in every territory, essentially. So trying to help bridge that gap a little bit. The Forbidden Door aftermath, Moxley and the Death Rider situation attacking him sets up vulnerability while showing, that once he comes back, he'll be more powerful than ever. And he shouted out he shouted out his wife a lot during it too. So very good to see that.
Windsor. I'm a big Alex Windsor fan. I really am enjoying what they're doing with her.
Yeah.
It's funny that he talks about them reaching out to him as much as he's the one that's burning the bridge between the two.
Well, but he's came out recently though and apologized for that, and so has Seth on both sides of it. They both have apologized for the stuff they said in the past. I think they all agreed that maybe at the time it was a fun little nudge and poke, but definitely good to mend that bridge a little bit. Who knows? Maybe someday Forbidden Door will include WWE presence, or Worlds Collide having an AEW presence.
Interesting.
My number 2, 3 weeks in a row, Bayley's voice vignette. This week that got even creepier, because now we got to hear from the hugger voice in her head, talking about how, we were a champion, we main evented WrestleMania, we went into WrestleMania and came out of WrestleMania as a champion when we were out there having fun. And the fun killer version of Bayley combating that with them showing clips of her as Ponytail Bayley, and then clips of her cutting the Bayley buddies, kind of countering the two. She was brought to a point of yelling for them to just shut up. So it's very, very much going to very like a schizophrenic, crazy. She's hearing the voices, type of situation. So I'm interested to see where we're going for this because it's a very, very possible hint that we're doing a reinvention or a full on character reset for her. So I want to see where we're going with it. And my last one, just because of the prominence of it, which was actually even tweeted out by our own John from Chairshot Sports. The JC Jane versus Masha versus Ash by Elegance match. It was a great match. The women killed it out there. JC looked strong. Masha looked dominant. Ash stole it as far as like the presence of it all. There was a fatal influence ejection spot, which is now starting drama inside that faction. The TNA president and other members of TNA management were there at ringside for it. But Ash ends up getting the win, which is massive because Dana Brooke, who once had her home there in NXT, and everyone felt like she never really got the chance, has now won a world title in an NXT ring for TNA. So a great accomplishment for her. Amazing that happened. Yes, yeah. Backstage, they got into it backstage as well, in a separate promo. So it's really nice that we're forwarding storylines. We're having great matches, and it was a smart win.
Yeah, I agree. It was one of those things. I've always been a big Dana Brooke fan. We've talked about this numerous times.
Yeah.
I'm so excited they put the title on her in an NXT ring.
Yeah.
I don't care whose title it is. She should have won a couple of times, won a world title.
Yeah.
And was never given the push for it. So I'm so excited for her. I'm happy for her. And I hope that this is a really good and long reign for her. And the WWE realizes what they missed.
Yeah. Hopefully. We're going to go ahead and move on to your 3 count. You wanted to talk about the Forbidden Door 0 hour 8 women tag match with Megasis and the Triangle of Madness, going against we're just going to say the faces because of the list of girls that were over there. Go ahead.
This match, look, the AEW women's division doesn't miss. They don't miss. This match was so fun and so good. Stat and Willow got along, which is a storyline in and of itself. 2/3 through the match, Tekla and Amanada fought down the aisle and disappeared. The match finishes with the heels winning. I hate that Harley Cameron took the L, but I'm glad Harley's back and I'm okay with it. Her and Megan, when she finally beats Megan Bain, it'll be a huge thing. And it'll just make Harley that much more over. But later on in the pay-per-view, we see Tekla and Amanada fighting in the back. This is like an hour and a half later, with the implication that they have been fighting for an hour and a half.
Yep.
They fight back down the aisle. The rest of the Triangle of Madness comes out and jumps Amanada. Jamie Hayter's music hits and she comes back. And now we have 5-on-5. And if we don't get blood and guts, I'm going to be salty.
I think the women are going to be salty too. Because they're pushing for it.
They should be. Like, you have the 4 that were in the ring, and you have Jamie Hayter. You also have Tay Mello and Anna Jay, depending on what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you could easily have what will probably be one of the best women matches ever if you let these women go out there and do this.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You recognize, what is a world title and how many do you recognize? Ooh. Good question.
So how about this? I'm good with this taking our main event spot next week. Let's do some sitting and discussing that because I have thoughts, and I think that'd be a good actual topic for the main event next week.
Right.
So
yeah. So these women tore it up. They had a great showing on 0 hour. I would have liked to have seen it on the pay-per-view, but the pay-per-view is pretty stacked. I'm not upset about it.
Yeah.
And the fact that the storyline tied into the pay-per-view that made people go, wait, how did we get to this point? They're going to go back and find this.
Yep. Which is really good. Like, I remember when, now it's a big production when the pay-per-view starts. On every pay-per-view. On some of them I always understood, like WrestleMania, welcome to WrestleMania, the whole thing. I get that. But a lot of those pre-show matches back in the day would bleed over. So you get like a random tag match for the last match of the pre-show. And the last half of that match was in the main card. It just kind of bled over into it.
Yeah.
And it does exactly what that does, what you said it does, which is it goes, oh shoot, I missed half this match. I need to go back and watch the pre-show. So then they find a reason or a way to go back to that. Okay. Forbidden Door, the main card, you wanted to talk about the Brodido win.
So, again, great match.
Great match.
Start to finish, great match.
I would say start to 5 minutes before the finish.
Okay, fair enough. So, two people in masks and hoodies come out and attack the Hurt Syndicate. Okay, fine. It started out as two, and then the third one showed up. And at which point we went, okay, it's GOA and Ricochet.
Yeah.
That's fine. We understand this. We've done nothing interacting with these teams since they turned Ricochet down for joining the Hurt Syndicate. So why did we do this? This was one of those, and yes, they did go back and explain it. They retconned it. They went back and explained it later. Yeah. And the ending of this was very convoluted. I don't know that it ended the way it was supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
I agree, Isaiah. The ref looked really confused about something. I just don't know what. They put the titles on Brodido. I'm good with it because I'm a huge Brody King fan. I'm not a fan of a champ, but I don't think they were supposed to get it.
Yeah, it specifically, like if you look at the end, there's a 2 count, and then we stop for a minute, and then we hit a 3 count. That could be because they were waiting for the spot of not Dax, Cash. Cash was coming in to break out the pin. It could be that they were trying to have that spot actually happen and have him miss doing it.
Right.
Or if he was actually supposed to get there and just didn't get there in time. But we essentially had a 5 count.
Yeah.
I need 5. Shout out to Biggie. But
shout out to King Kong Bundy.
I am not shouting out that thumb.
That was just wrong.
I'm aware I look very similar.
But it was funny and accurate. But yeah, it was. I'm good with the win too, Jillian.
Yeah.
I agree. I'm good with the win. It was just.
It was weird.
It seemed weird.
Yeah.
Disjointed. 100%. 100%. It was disjointed. That's the perfect word for it, Stampede.
Yeah.
The ending, I don't think went the way it was supposed to. I have a feeling they're going to drop these titles pretty quickly.
Well, and then I don't know what happened with this, but I've only seen like 1 or 2 comments on it on Twitter. Is it was supposed to be an elimination match,
right?
And then we just
what
wasn't.
Happened to that? Did we just say that? Okay, well, the Hurt Syndicate got taken out of the ring, so they're eliminated.
Maybe
is that what we're doing?
But that kind of goes to like there was a spot last week, and I forget what it was now. But there's like that goes to one of those spots of like we might need to be told that. Like say it.
Yeah.
Don't let us just assume. Yeah. All right, and your last one, you wanted to talk about Obafemi versus Javon Evans. The boys bouncy.
Okay. That's fair.
That is fair.
You're not wrong. And it wasn't a matter of it wasn't accuracy. It wasn't a matter of it wasn't available, because I think MVP and Speedball put that shit to rest.
Mm-hmm.
but they weren't going to take that L. They
Yeah.
should have, but they weren't going to. Um, but I agree. I wouldn't be surprised to see Jet Speed end up with the titles relatively quickly. Um,
If we don't retcon and give them to FTR, because like the storyline seemed to be that FTR was going to get it, and then of course now we have Cope and Christian back together, and now we have them versus FTR for the title. So it's all strange.
right. So I'm not sure what we're going to do here. It's one of those things that I definitely think it was botched at the end, but it has potential to be fixed.
It does. It absolutely does.
Okay, so Oba Javon, we've had this match 2 or 3 times, I think. This was fantastic. Like Javon made Oba look beatable.
Yeah.
And that's only happened a couple of times to where you're like, okay, he actually looks like he could lose this. Like that one super kick Javon hit, and that look on Oba's face of, oh shit, that hurt. Like he didn't look invincible.
Right.
That spot where he yeeted Javon out of the ring was crazy.
Yeah. The
like
best
Javon
relation. The best relationship I've ever seen now is Javon with that announce table, because that's the second time now he's just gone flying for it.
Yeah, yeah, he's definitely into it. I actually think they got this one wrong, though. I think Javon should have won it.
I don't
I think
disagree with
even
you.
after the table spot, had him come in, Oba go for the power bomb, roll him up, real quick rollover, ball game. Oba still looks like a beast. It looks like a fluke. You get the title off Oba so you can get him out of NXT,
Mm-hmm.
and you give Javon a great title run.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely, Stampede. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, 100%.
I agree with you, and like to me, it's something as easy as Trick coming out there and costing him, because you still have that Trick and Oba, like they're kind of beefing still.
Right.
So having him do that, or we've got the Absolute sitting there talking about how he's next in line. I kind of like the idea of the Absolute being a heel and saying, you know what? It'd be easier for me to beat Javon. Have him take the beat down and then cost over the title.
Even if he had just alluded to that in the back,
Mm-hmm.
I think it would have made, if he came out and cost over the title. And I'm fine with Javon saying, nah, I don't want to win it like that, but it being after the fact.
Yeah.
He realized, wait a minute, that isn't how I want to be a champion. And then you make Oba move him up, and you make Ricky the heel.
Yeah. But yeah, a big spot in there where he super kicked Oba, and Oba got knocked flat on his ass, and the way Oba sold that, of just like wide eyed, like, what the hell just happened?
Yes.
Why am I on the floor?
That's what I'm saying. There were so many little things that just made this so good.
Yeah. It was such a great story that was being told. So,
Definitely.
I mean, obviously though, I think we need to run that back at some point. Obviously, we're gonna get Absolute versus Oba. As much as I like Ricky, I don't see Ricky beating Oba. Like, I don't.
I don't think he should. I think he will.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Because 100%, Ricky can hit a Rochambeau on Oba. He's hit it on some big people.
Yeah.
And he hits a spear. It's definitely one of those, it needs to be some work. It should not be a single spear pinfall thing.
He's gonna have to fight his way to get there.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Well, before we move on to the main event today, which is another big topic that just kind of threw in our lap today, we're going to go ahead and hear about Chair Shot Sports. All right. Well, it's time for the main event. Main event today. I was actually kind of going back and forth on what we're going to talk about in the main event today, and then a very fun story just kind of got thrown in our lap. Because Jake Hagar decided to do an interview.
Stampede, what the fuck?
Like he's a 1990 Chevette on black ice going uphill. Good Lord. Sir.
He lost me a 90 Chevette, bro.
You're not wrong. But sir.
Oh,
Oh, good Lord. All right. Well, so Jake Hagar decided he was going to do an interview, and he opened the interview saying, I'm going to say the same thing I say every day, and I think everybody else should say it too. Fuck Tony Khan. That's how he opened the interview. So you knew it was going to be a ride from there. He has been making a lot of noise since officially walking away from pro wrestling. In interviews, he's admitted that his time in AEW left him very jaded, to the point where he wishes he'd never left MMA in the first place. So do we, sir. In the first place, he described the company as chaotic and even blasted Tony Khan specifically, calling him a bad boss who treated wrestlers like playthings. Hagar went into detail about a meeting that took place after the fallout of the CM Punk situation, where top names like Sting, Jericho, Danielson, Moxley were all there trying to talk things out. According to Hagar, Tony stormed in, shut everyone down, and started dictating matches, leaving talent frustrated and voiceless. Hagar says he still regrets not speaking up during that moment. During that, he also claimed that FTR refused to come into the meeting and refused to show up that day.
This is where Jake Hagar fucked up.
Yeah, this is where I knew I fucked up. Because Cash came back with receipts and said, no, me and him were both there. We have never missed a day. We have had no problem being part of the show. And you can tell by the way we're being booked every single week on both shows that we don't have a problem.
Dax clapped back first with, no, the fuck we didn't, and this is not what happened.
Mm-hmm.
People started arguing, and then Cash showed up with receipts.
Yeah.
He showed up like Cash. Receipts.
Yeah. Hagar didn't start. Oh, go ahead. No, go ahead before we move on.
I'm sorry, sir. What? First of all, why are we interviewing Jake Hagar in 2025? I'm not about to bash Chris. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
I'm not. This is in no way a bashing of Chris Van Vliet. He's a great guy from everything I've seen. His interviews are fantastic. I'm just asking why are we interviewing Jake Hagar in 2020 in the year of our Lord 2025? What?
For how social media works, I can tell you right now, this is why. Because clicks, views, and people talking about it. Because
Did you see what Stampede said?
Yeah, absolutely.
You're not wrong.
Not wrong at all. It's a lot of smoke, not a lot of fire. And here's the thing, like I see people going and talking about this, and they're bashing WWE or bashing AEW fans because of what they say about this. He was bashing both, though. One thing that isn't been giving any traffic is he also bashed Cena as well, saying that he dropped a claim that John Cena outright refused to lose to him back in 2010. He says the original plan was for him to cash in and beat Cena on Raw, but that Cena absolutely refused. Now, to be fair, Hagar admitted that came secondhand.
This will be the second time Jake Hagar fucked up.
That information came secondhand, not from Cena directly, but it feeds into the long-standing perception that Cena could choose whoever he wanted to elevate and who he didn't. However, Cena has specifically said, and people have said about Cena, that he's never had a problem doing the job if it made sense. So if he was able to have a conversation with the big guy at that point, because at that point it would have been Vince, and say, like, look, here's why this doesn't make sense, and he's able to walk out of that room without Vince doing his Jedi mind trick that he did on so many other talents to tell him why it was a good idea for Jake Hagar to win, probably wasn't a great idea. Yeah.
You're not wrong about that either. And Julian, you're not wrong. you don't hear a lot of it. I just saw something that a local union put out that AEW is paying. They're failing to meet area standards by paying substandard wages and benefits. Don't they just? Isn't this their own people that do this stuff? Why
Yeah.
is this a thing?
Well, and I know a lot of like this is going to take a turn out of what we're talking about, but there's been a lot of question as far as the fact that they won't completely go see through with how the financials work with their company, and so
I agree.
that is a bit concerning.
It is
Like,
fair enough.
so I mean, there may be some fire there, we don't know. But in this interview, Hager also insists that he is done. He is calling himself retired, says he doesn't even watch wrestling anymore, and has shifted his focus back to the life outside of the ring. Good Lord. At the core of all this,
No. Jake Hagar's retired. How can I recover?
at the core of all this, Hager's story isn't about just one guy being bitter. It's the realities of how much power certain people have behind the scenes, apparently, is what he's saying. Because they're able to just stomp him out. He was mad that he only got 18 months offered on the last contract he was given. Here's the thing, though. Even when they were here, like we saw Hagar on the corner, what kind of pop did he get when he came out as the surprise at the end of the night with Hornsby? Hornsby got a bigger pop than he did.
The only reason Hagar got any pop here or in Oklahoma City is because he's from Perry, Oklahoma.
Yeah.
He's from Oklahoma. Of course, you're going to run him out there and get a cheap pop out of it. It's just like you get a cheap pop out of JR anytime you're in Oklahoma, or if you're in Texas and you want to get a little bit of heat.
Absolutely.
Jake Hagar, sense of self and worth is crazy. I'm all for having a good opinion of yourself, but sir, you haven't been relevant since sometime in the early 2010s.
Well, and even
To
then,
get
and I'm sorry for our mayor of Canada. I apologize for what I'm about to say. However, it's the way I feel. Even when he was relevant back then, he was a champion for the same reason Bret Hart was a champion, and that's because there was no one there at the time who could have held the belt.
this. Hold this.
Hold that while we get someone ready, please. Yeah, I mean, he was never going to be top of the card. Even when he was world champ, no one cared. And it's
The only reason he was a world champ the only reason he was over like he was,
Good night, Lady Alpha.
The only reason he was over like he was is that stupid "We the People" gimmick,
Mm-hmm.
which just is even more racist now. But whatever, we're not going to get into that.
Well, and that, like, you can argue the fact that was more because of Dutch or more because of Cesaro. Because
Either way,
Swagger at the time was just in the back with the lisp. You can never get over with a lisp.
that is not true.
I was going to do a bad Dusty. I just refuse not to do that though. Go ahead.
You're in no position to be running your mouth like this, sir.
Yeah.
Even if you weren't retired, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. You're not wrong. Even if you are retired, even coming back for guest spots, you just fucked that up.
Yeah. I mean, it's the whole thing about not burning bridges. Dana, like specifically, like we talked about her just a little bit ago. Ash winning, she did an interview shortly after, and she said, "This is why you don't burn bridges." She never said a bad word about WWE 1.
No, she did not.
Because they didn't see it. And you can't fault them if they didn't see it.
And to her credit, she bet on herself and went out there and proved it.
Yeah. And so she didn't burn the bridge, and they said, "You know what? Come back and win it on our show." Nothing wrong with that. Don't burn the bridges because you never know which one you're going to have to cross.
Yep.
Anyway.
Yes,
I'm with
they
that.
are absolutely.
Yeah. Except though, if they're gonna try to hide Scarlet under a robe and have us not know who she is, they need to get longer robes because those boots, you were not fighting that.
Two things I
Mhm.
want to cover before we take off. First of all, shout out to Taylor Swift and Travis Kelsey. They're engaged.
To who?
Each other.
Oh, okay. Congratulations, you two. We know Kelsey's a big Kicking Out 2 fan.
Travis and his brother. They both are.
Anna Kendrick?
I'm not a fan of the line that Becky Lynch dropped last night.
Yeah. Neither was his daughter, who
And
unfortunately tagged the wrong person.
I saw that. But the point is, she's not wrong. You can make a comment. There's a ton of things you could comment about Britain when you're there that weren't that.
To me, it like if you're gonna reference Ozzy, I'm fine with an Ozzy reference. The man was a legend,
Absolutely.
but there's other ways you could have said what you said, because it insulted Ozzy. You could say that the best thing that came out of there passed away, and leave it at that.
Yeah.
You don't have to add more to it and downplay his legacy in the process of it. But that was just bad step. Unfortunately, it happens sometimes.
Yeah. I felt like it was. I'm all for getting heat. That wasn't necessary.
Yeah, that was a little too cheap. I agree.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, for the last pop, in light of the recent events with what we've talked about today and all the issues that have happened in the last few days, it's a reminder that wrestling, while it brings us joy, is not without its heavy moments. The community feels those losses and struggles deeply. And it's in these times that we need to come together more than ever. Wrestling really is for everyone. So be together, support each other in the highs and the lows and everything in between. And to see our highs and lows, you can catch us on TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, BlueSky. Sign up for the Kicking Out 2 Discord. Make sure to go drop your comments, share your faves, and keep this conversation going. Love you too, Big Mike. In the meantime and in between time, we will catch you on the next one.